Welcome to Alltrades Abbey, where those in search of a new path in life invariably find that which they seek. Do you or any of your acquaintances wish for a new vocation? Why, of course. That's rather our specialty here at Alltrades Abbey. You are free to choose whatever path it is that you would like to follow. No one is ever so set in their ways that you cannot choose to change. Whether it be your vocation, whether it be new skills that you wish to learn, here at Alltrades Abbey we facilitate and even encourage that change. It's wonderful to have the choice to choose your path, no matter where you are on your journey. Now, of course, learning new things, you're going to start out, well, at a low level again, but not to worry. Your skills that you've learned from your previous vocations will remain. We keep the lessons that we learn in life with us, even when we change paths. So, what new path will you follow, adventurer? Oh, you're not sure. That's perfectly fine. I would be happy to describe a little bit of each of the different vocations that you can choose if you would like. If you would allow me first, I would like to just take a closer look at you. Perhaps I could see what sort of vocations might suit you the best. All right. It won't take long. I'm just going to come just get a bit of a sense of your skills, your strengths and weaknesses. See where you might fit the best. You're quite brave, aren't you? Courageous and loyal. That would do well with many of our different vocations. Rather good head on your shoulders too. Clever. Quick-witted. Interesting. You know, I think that you could really choose any vocation that you wanted. Sometimes when we wish to change our path, there are not too many options in front of us to change, but I think today you could have many different choices. That's all right. Why don't I explain them each to you, and then we'll see where you think you would fit the best. Let's start out at the top with a warrior. Wielders of weighty weapons. Warriors use their strength and stamina to deal out damage and defend their allies. Typically very brave, they specialize in battle combat and wield the heaviest weapons and armor. They have very high strength, resilience, and HP, but they do have rather low agility. They tend to be a little bit slow, but very powerful, very brave, lots of room for advancement. Having a warrior as an acquaintance always is going to come in handy. Fighting monsters, making your way through dungeons or dangerous places. A warrior is always a good idea. But certainly they're not the only option out there. Perhaps you would prefer the path of the martial artist. Also a fighter, but these are masters of hand-to-hand combat. Martial artists are amazingly agile and can land critical hits for fun. Martial artists have a higher chance of scoring a critical hit on an enemy than any of the other vocations. Now, they do generally use minimal weapons and armor as opposed to the warrior. Now, that can be good and bad. Cumbersome armor or heavy weapons would make the fighting style of a martial artist a bit encumbered. But of course, that also means that a party would not be burdened with having to constantly buy better and better weapons and armor for them. They are light on their feet, agile, rather clever too. Still quite a bit of strength. Not quite as much as a warrior, but very, very useful in many different situations to have a martial artist in the party. But perhaps physical fighting is not for you. Perhaps you're more of a spellcaster, Maybe the vocation of a mage would suit you best. Master spellcasters, mages harness their wealth of magical knowledge to take care of foes foolish enough to stand in their way. They specialize in destructive magic spells like frizz, and boom. They also have the ability to often target multiple enemies at once. Can be quite useful when fighting many different monsters at the same time, of course. They also have quite a few other spells that can be very, very beneficial to a party, helping enhance other people's skills and abilities, allowing you to evacuate a certain area, dungeon, or battleground if need be, or enhancing people's movement, allowing you to see things that are not normally there. Quite a lot of useful skills from a mage. They have very, very high wisdom as far as the other vocations go, but they are not the most sturdy, I suppose. They have rather low strength when it comes to physical prowess, so they are generally best utilized in the back of a battle, but utilized they certainly can be. A mage is a very powerful ally to have, but maybe that's not the type of magic user that you wish to be. Perhaps you prefer something more like a priest. The best backup an adventurer can have Priests can cast healing spells and also wield weapons. A little bit of the best of both worlds, I suppose. They don't necessarily have attack or battle-ready spells, but they have quite powerful healing and fortifying spells. They're also a bit more resilient than mages, and are a little better in a fight, physically. So perhaps a priest, a healer, a helper might be the vocation that would suit you the best. Or maybe your skills lie outside of the realm of combat, and you'd like to be something a bit more practical. Perhaps the life of a merchant is best suited for you. Experts in commerce, merchants make themselves useful by gathering gold coins and appraising items. Merchants are not particularly useful when confronting enemies, but they have the ability to pick up additional gold and resources after a battle. Quite useful for a party. And they also have the ability to let you know what in the field is worth keeping and what is not. An item's value can be quite a useful thing to know. They also allow you to dig underfoot for treasure, or to summon a shopkeeper to the field so that you don't have to be burdened by heavy or cumbersome loot. A merchant, not necessarily for fighting, but for other quests, other endeavors. Having a merchant around could be a very, very useful party member as well. But perhaps you would like something a bit more lively. Perhaps the unpredictable life of a gadabout might be what you desire. The life of the party. Gadabouts can cause all kinds of things to happen with their crazy hijinks. They're rather a wild card, having a gadabout on the party. You never know if what they do is going to help or confuse or sometimes perhaps hinder. But they have a great amount of luck. Gadabouts have the ability to ignore the effects of various debilitating spells much more than others, and rather, well, dance to their own songs, let's just say. Although they may be seen as rather silly, they're always good for entertainment and can help get a party out of rather strange situations. You never know when having a gadabout around might come in handy. They are also the only vocation that can turn into a sage without assistance or any magical items. The Gadabout is a very unique vocation, certainly not for anyone. You must have a good sense of humor and be willing to live life a little on the wild side. But perhaps you're looking for something with a bit more mystery. Maybe the life of a thief is more for you. Sneaky so-and-sos. Thieves are excellent at avoiding enemies in dungeons and sniffing out treasure. Thieves generally have about average attack when it comes to battles, but they have very high agility and defense. They are wonderful at dodging attacks and can be very, very hardy. They also can steal and loot items after a fight. They have abilities to help avoid monsters sneaking around undetected. And they also have quite a nose for treasure. They have an ability that allows the party to know how many treasure chests or things of value are left in a certain dungeon. That way you always know when you've gotten everything or when you're perhaps leaving something behind that you don't want to. A thief can be a very, very, very powerful friend. Of course, a powerful enemy, too. Perhaps a thief is someone that you wish to be for your party. Perhaps you would prefer to really walk on the wild side and be a monster wrangler. Not a wild party, but more like a wild animal. Oddballs who steal most of their moves from their monster mates. Monster wranglers combine these to create an inimitable fighting style. Monster wranglers tend to be a bit more barbaric or primitive, but they have learned to walk on the wild side, have learned skills and abilities, fighting styles, and survival techniques from wild animals and monsters alike. They have abilities like flame breath or tongue lashing that mimics that of their animal friends. They generally are very strong and resilient, perhaps not the most agile, but still very useful in a fight. It also makes it much more easy to recruit monsters to your team for the monster arena, if that is a path that you choose to take. Having monster wranglers can be an invaluable asset to a party of adventurers. Many, many, many options when you're a monster wrangler. So, which vocation will you choose? A warrior, a martial artist, a mage, a priest, a merchant, a gadabout, a thief, or a monster wrangler? Which path shall you choose today? You are sure that you wish to become that vocation? Very well. Then let us complete the ritual of transformation. Oh, goddess above, great shepherdess, set your servant on a new path through this veil of tears. There. It is done. Congratulations, adventurer. You have now begun a new path. Your equipment has now been changed to that of the path you have chosen. Now, go forth, and may the goddess smile upon you, whichever path you choose.